Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is that you inky savages are joining us for episode number 176. 176. Wow. 176 of the PenBoyRoy Pentertainment Podcast. I'm here with my very good friend, the Odd Oink, and he is going to take us through our sponsorships today.
After both of them?
No. I'm gonna do the gold spot one.
Okay. You do it.
Please continue using the affiliate link in the description below for the link to Goldspot Pens, where you can make all your awesome fountain pen purchases, all your ink purchases, all your writing and calligraphy and art supplies, including pencils, such as the Retro 51 Amadeus pencil, which I have been in love with for such a long time, because the design is just so unique and beautiful. But make sure you check out Goldspot Pens using the affiliate link in the description below. But don't forget to also use coupon code Lucy. And by using coupon code Lucy, you will be entitled to an additional savings on most of the products on the Goldspot website. But not just any website. The affiliate link website. It helps out everything that is the Pentertainment Enterprises, known as the Pentertainment Studios. Our next sponsor comes from Luxury Brands of America. It's related to the pen that I'm holding, which is a Platinum 3776, but it's not this one. This one is the white one, which is really cool. But the one that Tom's about to talk to you about, I think Tom is the perfect person to talk to you about it, because it happens to be one of his favorite colors, which is, drum roll, a variation of blue. But I'm going to let Tom talk about it. Go ahead, Tom.
So if there was a pen that could possibly give the Platinum 3776 Kumpo a run for its money, in terms of how awesome it is the second North American exclusive 3776 Century, Sands of Komodo, which is inspired by the pristine tropical waters and pink sand beaches of Komodo Island. So it also has, not only is it blue, Roy, not only is it one of my favorite colors, it's a demonstrator, so you can see through it, similarly to the Kumpo, and it has rose gold trim, which I think is one of those things that, I mean, I like yellow gold trim on my blue pens too. I'm kind of like that. I like the yellow gold instead of silver. I know some people are into silver, but I like the contrast of something that's warm against the coolness of the blue. I think it really makes it look excellently elegant.
Excellently elegant. I like that.
And this one definitely gives that vibe of tropical paradise. You have that rose gold trim on there. Is that pink sandy beach type of gold? And then you have that cool blue to contrast it. Looks really sharp. So these will be available sometime, I think, in mid-October in a variety of different North American Luxury Brands of America retailers, platinum retailers in America, North America only, including Goldspot Pens. So that would be something you guys could hop onto and jump on that when it comes in. So
thank you for that.
That is my piece.
That's his 2 cents. Awesome. Yes. All right. I think that this is going to be one of those ones where you're going to have to jump on it as soon as you're able to, because like the Kumpu, I found that after it sold out, it was nearly impossible to get. And
they were selling for a lot higher than what they were retailing for in the secondary market. Yeah.
Exactly. So make sure you check that out, and as soon as they become available, pay attention for the Goldspot newsletter, because that'll tell you when it's available. And again, using the affiliate link, don't forget to use coupon code Lucy. That's it for sponsorship reads. We are going to get on to this week's episode of the podcast. This is episode number 167. But before we get started, I want to give you guys a quick disclaimer.
76.
What did I say?
You said 67.
Oh, I meant 76. I'm dyslexic right now.
It's okay.
Episode number 176, and before we get started, I got to give you guys a quick disclaimer. This podcast is This podcast is not scripted and therefore will contain potty mouth words, both from Tom and I, mostly from me. So be forewarned, you have been warned. Now, on to the podcast.
The PenBoyRoy Entertainment Podcast. Stay savage.
Just to give you a heads up, this one's going to have to be a little bit on the shorter side, because my wife just reminded me that we have a call thing we got to do at 9 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
A little bit after, because I think she's going to be showing up with the kids a little bit after, but I got something at like just right around 9 o'clock. So
Okay, so we got to keep all the content in, including the disclaimer that this is going to be a shorter episode, which is fine because I got so much packing to do. Because I don't know if I told everybody, but as of the recording of this, it's Friday, September 8th. On Friday, September 9th, I shall be going to Paris once again. Oui. And we're going to do lots of Parisian stuff.
eat some
But-
croissant.
We're going to have some croissant. But here's the thing. The last time I went, I picked up a notebook that I'm going to give to my friend Jacqueline, and I'm such an asshole because I haven't shipped it yet. Jacqueline, if you're listening, it is going to come your way. I am just so terrible with shipping stuff, but I promise you, it is definitely coming. I'm sorry for
Sometime.
the long wait.
Sometime eventually.
Now, I've been getting a good response from the Kreese Art giveaway. Excuse me, the Kreese Art giveaway for the Captain America head sketch on Instagram. I very much appreciate it. I've been getting a moderate response on YouTube, which is fine also. But what I've been noticing, and I would like, Tom, if you're able to, could you just go ahead and log into YouTube and check out the comments for last week's episode? We're going to go through those comments, and the reason why is because the comments were to put down in the comments whether you guys think Tom and Goldspot Pen should carry the Giorologio pen cases. This one here is a 24 pen case. This one here is a less than 24 pen case. This one's more like a 4 pen case with room for all kinds of other stuff. But these are all giveaway items. Now, what I realized was there's 3 items, and the third one being this 3 pen sleeve case.
Okay.
We're good. The giveaway item will be this. What did I say? I can't even remember what I said. The giveaway item will be the 24 pen case, starting with this one, right? Depending on the comments. So we're gonna start with this one, and then I'm gonna Instagram the next other cases that I have here as giveaway items. We're gonna announce on Instagram on the 16th the winner of the Kreese Art giveaway, as well as the winner of the Giorologio 24 pen case. I'm gonna post something on Instagram also. Week
Are you going to be
before.
here next week with the
No,
the
but
trip
I
and
am
all?
going to post it on the 16th from France.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
nice.
So when I get back from France, which is going to be not the 16th, it's a couple of days after that.
Okay.
Then I'm going to ship these out to the winners.
Eventually.
No. I'm going to do it. The morning of the next day after I get back, which I
Sometime
think
in 2023, hopefully.
No, stop saying that. You're gonna make people believe it. No, it's gonna be the first thing before I unpack or anything like that. I'm gonna ship out Jackie's notebook. I'm gonna ship out the winner to the Giorologio pen case, and I'm gonna ship out the drawing that Kreese made, and get those out to the winners that I'm gonna announce as an Instagram post. But what you had to do for the Kreese Art was just to comment your favorite Marvel superhero and follow Ink Journal, Kreese Art, and myself on Instagram. For the Giorologio pen case, you have to just comment in the comments below of this video, or any video, whether or not you should think Goldspot pens should in fact carry the Giorologio pen cases, being that they are more accessible and less expensive and very high quality compared to the competitors out there. And you guys have given me a resounding response. And, of course, you have another week to continue the responses. We're going to pick one of those responses. And the owner of that response will be the owner of the winning 24 Giorologio pen case. So I would like to go over some of these responses. And I want to see if Tom had a chance to look at them before this week's episode or not.
I am just actually reviewing them presently at the moment.
Is this the first time that you're looking at them?
I'm just refreshing my memory. No, this is the first time I'm looking at them, actually. Yeah.
Right, because you don't get notifications.
No, I don't get them
allergies.
unless it's on directly on the Goldspot Pens YouTube channel. I will get let's say email notifications about that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's it seems overwhelmingly as though people are saying that Goldspot should carry the Giorologio pen line. I mean the pen cases.
Weird.
So yeah, it's amazing. But I do appreciate a few folks said, I could tell that Tom gets stressed out over having to add more stuff to his plate, and I could appreciate that fact. That they understand. Hey, this is not just easy, just like just add them. There's some considerations involved when it comes to where are we going to fit all of this stuff? And then, well, who's going to be doing the work to add all of them to the website? And then, include them in the marketing and everything. So I appreciate that people were concerned about my my workload there. So
I think it's awesome. I think, you know what I just realized? I realized that the bottle that I'm drinking out of is kind of like a yellowish color, right? I wonder
Right.
if when I do the editing, because we both have green screens behind us, if
it
it'll
will
look like,
disappear.
if it'll disappear, and if it'll look like I'm just drinking out of like an invisible container. We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Yeah, but thank you for those comments. I think it's really awesome. What I wanted to talk about today, and it came up in my head recently, just because I've been using it so much. So I've been using the Platinum 3776 fine nib, not the soft fine, but the fine nib.
Okay.
And what does Platinum even call their soft fine? Do they call it?
That's SF. It's soft fine.
So what does Pilot call their soft?
They also call it soft fine too. So
Oh.
there's soft fine, but then if you're talking about the Falcons, the Falcons are a different model altogether. So there's like the custom 912 has a soft fine in it. There's also the Falcons, which have a different style of nib altogether, and those are soft fine. They're soft fine, extra fine.
They're all
medium,
called
and
soft
broad.
fines. Okay.
Yeah, they're
anyway,
all soft. Yeah.
what I want to talk about is, you have experience with Platinum pens, and I have experience with Platinum pens, right?
Yes. Yes.
So what, my allergies are kicking my butt this last couple of days. Anybody else experiencing that? It's like every morning I wake up, and if an allergy were a punch in the face, then it's like Mike Tyson punching me in the face every day. I want to know.
Sucks.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about what I like about the Platinum 3776, and I want to know what you like about the Platinum 3776. Okay? And then I
Okay.
want to know, I'm going to talk about what I don't like about the Platinum 3776, and then I want you to talk about what you don't like about the Platinum 37776. Did I say too many
There's
sevens
an extra
there?
7 in there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
They,
I'm
sh-
going
they
to
should have
ask you a
named it something
very-
differently, just to be fair.
Right. And then what I want to do is I'm going to give you a very like Thanos-y question at the end.
Okay.
Okay?
Like a snap of the fingers sort of question.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So
All right.
I'm going to start with what I like about the 3776 Sentry. Okay? And I'm going to start with, other than the writing experience, because everybody talks about the writing experience. What I love about the 3776 is this. When you close it, it gets to that point where it hits that spring cup inside, and then
Yep.
there's just a little extra twistiness to it,
Yes.
right? And then it becomes almost nearly fidget spinner level.
Yeah. It's because the inner cap seal, the slip and seal mechanism, is activating in that last quarter turn.
Right.
That then you could just feel everything come together, and that spring provide the tension on the front section of the nib, and just it is very satisfying. I agree.
Yeah. I also like the way it posts snugly and securely,
Yes.
right? I like that. I like I like how big and flat the nib is. I like the little heart-shaped breather hole,
Oh yeah.
right? I love the design. Very classic, very executive looking. So when I'm using it at work or wherever I do use it, I just feel more important than I actually am. Okay?
That always helps. That
Yeah.
helps tremendously. Yes.
I do love the white one. Forgetting that it's white, though, I'm not going to talk about the color because there's so many different colors.
Right.
Other than the design, going to the writing as the last thing, even though it should have probably been the first thing. I love the tooth that it provides. This is a fine. I love the amount of tooth and scritchiness that it provides. And I've always seemed to have liked that about the Platinum 3776 before I became or discovered the newest hobby of mine, which is drawing comic book characters and stuff like that. Because what
Right.
I've noticed is I've been using it to ink my sketches. And I find that the toothiness and the scritchiness is really helpful in controlling the line that I'm drawing or I'm inking over. So like if there's like a longer line, I find that the scritchiness on Bristleboard, which is really smooth, really does help. So I don't slip and slide on the paper as much. And since it's a Japanese fine, I can get a very, very fine line with it. And if I need more line weight, like for example, I need more line variation because I want this line or like the outside of like a character's shoulder to be thicker line.
Yeah.
Instead of pressing down harder, I'll just draw a second line and fill it in. And I can do it with precision because of the scritchiness of the nib. Right? So I also love the weight of the pen. It's light. At the same time, it doesn't feel cheap. Okay? What do you like about the 3776?
Well, I like that it has a confusing name because it's like the Century 3776 or 3776 Century. There are too many sevens in there. There's the call, which I think it's fair to say that this is kind of like the Japanese Mont Blanc because this is Mont Blanc's was it 5280, right? That's what's on the nibs because that's the measurement of Mont Blanc the actual mountain, and that's what it's like referring.
4810 or something like that.
50 was 4810, 50 something, whatever. I was.
It's a set of numbers.
Yeah, it's a set of numbers that represents the measurement of the height to the summit of Mont Blanc.
Right.
Which is a mountain, for those who don't know. Which the 3776 is a measurement in meters of the height of Mount Fuji. So
I was right.
And also,
4810.
4810. You got it.
Yeah.
So, and then also the pens themselves, if you compare, let's say, the 3776 to a 146, I think are pretty comparable in terms of their size and relative dimension / style. So they're very classic looking and has that cigar type shape, rounded ends, has that, very flat looking, just standard type of clip, has a cool ornate looking cap band, which is nice too. But, I would probably say the most distinctive features, what you're saying about the 3776 is the nib style, which is basically, it's the same nib that you would find on Nikaya pens. It's a really nicely made Japanese nib that provides a very fine controlled line. So for people who need an extra fine line and something that you want precision on when you're going across the paper, this is the type of nib that you would want. So if you have very small, neat handwriting, you have very slow, methodical type of handwriting, or if you're doing sketching and need to get those precise lines and you need to draw those precise lines, that's what that's what a fine point or an extra fine point would give in Platinum. And I like the slip and seal cap mechanism, like you said, is very, very satisfying. I like the posted length of it. All the reasons that I like the 146, I like the 3776 in terms of its size and postability and balancing and everything. They really do a good job with kind of making it a very everyday good pen, I think, for anybody to just pick up and write with. And I mean, really, it's like the colors are just outstanding. That's I think another feature of it is that they have so many different varieties, and Platinum does some really interesting things with their resins. They don't just throw a new color or throw a different material and just keep everything the same. They're doing some crazy stuff with that Oroku Gumo, if you've seen that one, the one with the clouds.
Yeah.
They do or like the Roka. There's a lot of those editions, like the Kumpo we're talking about, where they did the cut waves into the barrel of the pen. Some really interesting things, and none of them are astoundingly expensive like Mont Blancs are. So if you're looking at 146, you'd be easily in the $700 category, and that's not even a limited edition. But these limited editions for Platinum, even though they have gone up there quite a bit in the last several years, they're still around $300-400 for for a nice 14 karat gold nib that has got the Japanese quality and precision built in.
It's interesting that you actually compare it to the Mont Blanc, because I think most people would say that the Sailors are kind of like the Mont Blanc of Japan, more so than Platinum, right?
Well, I feel like they're also very comparable too, although I kind of feel that the 3776 is that kind of the happy medium between the 1911 S and the L. Because, like, while I feel that the L is very comfortable, the S is a little bit on the smaller side, but the 3776 is kind of right at that sweet spot, I feel, where it's not, it's not considered to be a large pen, but not a slim or a small pen either. But I kind of feel that what Platinum might have been going for in naming it that way and then styling it, I just feel that they were just more or less not looking at Sailor for inspiration. They were more looking at Mont Blanc, I feel. But I mean that could be my interpretation. That's my interpretation of it.
So just to, if I heard you right, you think that Platinum's inspiration comes from Mont Blanc more so than Sailor?
I think so. I think that's
okay, and that's just your opinion. That's just your opinion.
That's my complete opinion. I was not around in the fountain pen scene when the 3776 was introduced. I don't know the context or the board meetings that we're having, but I just feel like if you were to like look at the design choices and the like the naming convention that was used for this, I kind of feel that the 3776 is Platinum's version of a Meisterstück 146.
Oh, interesting. So that's just your opinion. You're not saying that that's what happened. Okay.
That is my complete,
There could be somebody at Platinum right now, probably not listening to this, but if they did, they're like, all right, write a cease and desist to these assholes saying some bullshit. Because they might not have, and I honestly think
I haven't been asked to be fired in quite a while, so I think
I know,
should
right?
Probably make a comeback.
But I honestly think that there's enough different about the Platinum 3776 with the Mont Blanc Meisterstücks for it to not that enough differences where I could actually say I don't think that they were inspired by the Mont Blanc. I think if they were yes inspired by a classic look, a classic design, something that will exude an appearance of executiveness, right? So that's my opinion. But let's go on to the
things that we do not like about it.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, but before we do that, I have a quick question.
Okay.
You'll know this more than I would. How many colors of the Platinum 3776 are not transparent or translucent, but are solid colors that you cannot see through?
Not many. I think most of them are see-through. Even the Chartres and the Bourgogne, and those look like they're opaque, but there's like just a slight hint of translucency to those materials.
So I think one of the reasons why I like this one so much, which is, what do they call this one? The
Cheneseau, I think, or
Cheneseau. Yeah. It's white, it's solid, and you can't see through it. And it's I feel like it's unique because it's the only one you can't see through.
Well, I know that they had the heart. The more recent Heart of Ivory, I think the Shape of Heart, the one that has the little gemstones in the top cap finial with the little cutout hearts in it. That one is actually a solid white with a matte finish.
Oh, that's right.
That's different.
But those are limited.
That's limited. Yours is an everyday model.
Right. All right. So, what do I not like about the Platinum 3776 Century? All right, I want to tell you what it is. What was the marketing nonsense that they were saying? 2 years you can have it capped and it won't dry out.
Slip and seal.
Yeah. I put in a Platinum 3776 carbon black cartridge into this pen and then didn't touch it for 6 months and it dried out completely.
Oh.
Just saying. Right? I don't know what everybody else's luck was. Maybe it was the platinum ink because the platinum ink is what a particulate. It's different. Excuse me. I gotta blow my nose.
Well, I know that I'm just filling in. I don't mean to jump on top, but I know that I'm just filling in while you're blowing your nose there.
Blowing my nose.
But I know that Adam, an ink guy, had done the test with not only with the Curidas but also with the 3776, and had some really good results with that. But you're saying it was a carbon black cartridge, so maybe being it was pigmented versus a dye type of ink that you most fountain pen inks are dye inks, that it might have an effect on that,
right? And that would be like, I think that's what it is, right? And the reason I'm bringing it up is because if you're gonna advertise that it can last 2 years without drying up, but it doesn't apply to your own line of ink, Carbon Black.
Maybe you shouldn't be making those bold claims.
Or you can just go ahead and say it works for most inks except ours, which is a bad marketing call, wouldn't you say?
Well, I would just maybe, if they know, if they've tested it with the pigment inks and they're like, oh, okay, pigment inks, it's not going to be good. Or they say maybe like it'd be a shorter time span with pigment inks.
Right.
Maybe that might be acceptable, I think, to just make a little asterisk and say pigment inks maybe like 3 months.
Right. Something like that, right? They should definitely do something like that. Oh, the next thing that I don't like about the Platinum 3776, especially when you have translucent colors or clear colors, like the Laurel Green. I don't know how it happened. I might have banged it or dropped it. But when you have the dome, and it has like a solid plastic dome, right? You could see the little nut inside.
Yeah.
It developed a crack inside the dome, so you could actually see, like, I don't know how to explain it, but if, like, let's say you take a block of ice, a block of ice, right?
Right.
And it's just fractured through the middle. It's clear everywhere, but then you see that, like, fracture going through the whole thing.
Right.
That's what it looked like on the dome.
And light just can't pass through it the same way.
It's not a clear pass through of light. Now, it held together and it's not going to fall apart, which is fine, but that bothered me. So I didn't like the fragileness of that. Right? Did it ever fall apart? Did it ever split in two? No, but it looked. You could see you could see like a fracture going through it, right? And then the last thing that I don't like about it, which is a very stupid thing to not like about something, but I point out the little things. So on the center band,
yes.
So you have lettering on one side that says 3776 Century, and that's relief style. That means the lettering is raised. Okay.
Right.
Then on the back you have Platinum made in Japan. It's not relief style. It's imprinted in. So that means the letters are depressed into the middle. Right? So it doesn't matter whether it's that side or the front. If your hands are not like always like just freshly washed, eventually dirt gets caught in the little indentations of the lettering on the back, as well as the little spaces in between and in the lettering on the front. So every once in a while I have to take a little piece of paper or a toothpick and then scrape it clean.
I use one of those straw brushes sometimes. I have a sailor that for some reason the barrel threads, they get like something kind of gets caught in them, like maybe like dead skin cells, not to be gross or whatever, but like dead skin cells or just like dirt or whatever, and I notice them on the threads. I see them on there, so I take like a little straw brush and I just brush them out, and then they come right out. But
so the same thing happens. The same thing happens on the inside of the threads, especially on the white one. You can see it, right?
Right.
Sometimes that drives me crazy.
Well,
but I guess that's
white, so it's like everything you could see on the white material.
But I guess that's not exclusive just to this pen. I'm sure it's every pen. You know what I do sometimes? I'll take a business card and on the outside threads, I'll just put the business card in the thread and then spin the pen so that the business card goes through all the threads and clean it out that way. But then after a while, it's like after a day, I'm like, oh, I gotta do it again. Sometimes it's not worth
it out again.
Yeah, sometimes it's not worth the maintenance. I just use it. And also, especially if you're drawing a lot, the graphite, sometimes like debris of graphite or eraser dust gets in there and stuff.
Gets all trapped in there.
Yeah. What do you not like about the 3776 Platinum Century?
Well, one of the things that related to what you were talking about with the slight little crack in the dome, I didn't experience any cracks, but I kind of felt that the material was always a little bit on the lighter side of. I know that a lot of pens use the PMMA resin or like the ABS plastic. The Platinum 3776 kind of still for me feels a little too light in the plastic, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I just feel like I feel like there's not enough solidity there. But then I kind of get that that's the reason why most of them are transparent, is they're very, very thin, so you could see through to all the stuff in the pen. So, but at the same time, I'm like, I like the more solid feeling of like a 146,
Okay.
or like even the Sailor kind of feels a little bit more solid than a 3776. And then the other thing, a big thing that I would have issues with, I fill up a lot from ink samples, and I like using a converter attached to the front section. I dip the nib in, I tilt the ink sample, and I try to get as much ink as I possibly can. And the 3776 just however the nib and feed design is, it just does not do well with ink samples. And I would just be sitting there screwing it and unscrewing the piston converter to try and get some suction to even get a full ink sample vial to like feed into the converter.
Right.
And I just found this was very consistent with that. It just was very, you pretty much have to dip the whole entire nib in there, and it's a decently sized nib, so you have to dip the whole entire thing in ink in order for it to get the proper suction. Whereas like a lot of other nibs, like especially the Lamy 2000, it's just such a small little distance between the nib tip and where the hole is where the ink goes in, that you could just put that thing straight down to the bottom, and there could just be a little bit of ink left in the ink vial, and you could still get that ink. But the Platinum 3776, no, I had to do that syringe filling a lot. I had to syringe fill the converter a lot.
I see, especially for your ink samples. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now, I think that's good. Everybody listening or watching, I want to know your thoughts. What do you like about the Platinum 3776, and what do you dislike about the Platinum 3776? And then now on to the next part of what I wanted to throw at Tom. And this is kind of like the Thanos snap question about the Platinum 3776. Okay? If with a snap of a finger, okay, you had to get rid of either the 3776 or Sailor, who would it be? Go.
The entire Sailor round? You're just gonna just eliminate
Just
Sailor?
obliterate Sailor. If you either obliterate all of Sailor or all of Platinum. Go.
Oh wow, man, this is it's a lot of responsibility.
Listen, you have to make a decision right away.
Japan is a small island, and they have to.
You gotta go. You gotta snap the finger. Ready?
They gotta
snap your finger. Ready?
There's not enough room for both of them.
Snap your finger. 1, 2, 3. All right. Which one's disappeared now? Which one got blipped?
I'm gonna get hate mail for this. I would probably say I can't. No, I would say Platinum.
Platinum's blipped.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Platinum is blipped.
I just feel that Sailor, I think, has a broader nib range. I would say like a more reliably consistent broader nib range in that they could offer a lot of their pens in, whereas like Platinum, it's some of these editions they're only offering them, especially with like something like the Rose Gold, they're only I think available in 3 standard nib sizes. But they do have the Curidas, which is something that
it's gone now. It's blipped.
It's gone.
It's blipped,
No, it's
and
gone.
you need Tony Stark to come back and unblip it.
Then we need to go back in time and the quantums and the suits and stuff. Oh god, that's such a...
Okay, multiverse time. You ready? Platinum or Pilot? Ready? Snap your fingers. Come on.
I gotta get rid of Platinum again, because Pilot's got way too much appeal up and down. Like from just, I mean, I know the Platinum's got the has got the preppies, but they just have too much going on from the top to the bottom. So many different options and so many quality type. And plus too is that even though they are a Japanese company, I feel that they still have a more Western style of nib for Pilot, which is like to say that it's more on the smoother side, that the nibs run a little bit wider than the Platinum or the Sailor nibs.
Okay. All right, ready? Multiverse time. Platinum or Wancher? Snap your finger. Go.
I don't really. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, like I know of Wancher and I've seen some of their pens before. It just, I think I would have to keep Platinum and get rid of Wancher.
Okay, ready?
Wancher gone.
Okay, Wancher blipped. Platinum or Edison?
Why are you doing that to me?
Come on, man. This is the game. You signed up for it. You're Thanos.
All right, so I get rid of platinum because I can't do that to my friend Brian.
Oh, so you personally... So at least Thanos was indiscriminate. You are being discriminate.
No, if I've eaten dinner with Brian Gray before, and I like talking books with him, I just can't erase him from the planet because
not him.
Because I need
You're
to keep
erasing
platinum plants.
The brand, not him.
No, I'd be erasing his livelihood. What's he gonna do?
Okay, so how about here's another one: Platinum or Leonardo? Go.
Oh, platinum's gone. Sorry.
Wow, you got no love for platinum, huh?
No, I mean you're pitting them against things that I love, so I can't do. You know.
All right. Platinum, Franklin Christoph.
Who would probably do? I would probably say let's get rid of platinum.
Jesus.
Sorry. Franklin Christoph does way too much. I feel for the community and has way too many awesome models to get rid of.
All right, Platinum or Esterbrook?
That's a good question. Well, it's basically, you know what? I'll get rid of Esterbrook.
Okay. Why?
Because I feel that, I mean, they have, let's say, the SD, right? They have the JR, they have the new Model J, which is the larger one. But I feel that Platinum has a longer history, and they have a lot more range in terms of their models. I mean, like I mentioned, the Preppy, you have Plaisirs, you have the Curadoses, you have a lot more, I think, ability to satisfy more of the writing market with Platinum. So, and I think that they're a little bit more unique in that they make their own nibs, and they have a unique style of nib versus the Yovo number 6 nib, which they do have the specialty grinds in Esterbrook, but I just feel that Platinum's a little bit more unique, that I would keep them over Esterbrook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last one. Platinum or Parker?
Parker's gone. Sorry. Platinum. I mean, Parker has a long history, even longer than Platinum does. But they don't seem like they're doing anything with it. So might as well erase them from the history books.
Yeah, I really love that. I think that video you made about the Queen Elizabeth pen. I got to talk about this for 2 more minutes before we sign off. I know we have to cut this off, but Tom was actually doing a video for Gold Spot Pen selling a Queen Elizabeth Parker pen limited edition. It cost about $5,000, right? 5 or 6 grand.
Right.
And on the video, where his only job is to convince you to buy the pen, he holds up the pen and says, if you are a fan of Queen Elizabeth, it's probably cheaper to just go and take a week trip out there and stay there for a week than to purchase this pen. I was looking at it and I'm like, dude, that's so true, but not your job. Your job description out the window. Here's a truth bomb. It's too expensive. Go to England. You would spend less money and have a good time. Don't buy this pen. I loved it.
But the thing is, it's just truth. That's just it. I'm not gonna tell people, hey, you gotta buy this because it's going to be the greatest thing. I mean, people ended up buying it anyway because sadly enough, unfortunately, the Queen had passed away within a year, I think, of that of posting that video. So of course, memorabilia, including the pens, ended up being a desirable commodity for people to snap up and collect. So, I mean, but the thing is things are what they are. So it's if you're going to commemorate and make something like Monte Grappa does, for example, and they have something so very expensive and luxurious, and it costs $10,000, and you had an opportunity to go see the Queen live and go to celebrate a celebration, is I think people would rather take that.
Right.
This is just thinking of what other people might want to do. So
right. That's why I and so many people love you, Tom. But anyway, speaking of love, thanks again for joining us for episode number 176. This was a short one. I do apologize. We have things to do. I got packing to do and everything like that. Thanks again for joining us. I love you guys. Be well. Be safe.
Stay inky.